You see that? One might think that's oil coming out of my drain plug. That's actually fuel. So, getting ready for the show. Everything's cooking along and getting pretty happy. And I start the car one day, and it goes thunk. And I was kind of like, well, maybe do I have a bad starter? What? I really didn't understand what happened. So I tried starting it a couple more times, which I probably shouldn't have done considering what actually happened. But by the fact that you can see fuel coming out of my oil pan would lead a lot of you mechanics to one conclusion, is I hydrolocked the engine. One of my injectors, we'll go up topside here in a minute, stayed open and basically just started blowing fuel into cylinder number 6. And then cylinder number 6 fills up with fuel, the valves close, the piston comes up to compress the air-fuel mixture, and instead it tries to compress a liquid, gasoline, which is not as compressible as air, funny enough. And basically the engine stalls and won't run anymore. So I finally, after some diagnosis, figured out what was going on and blew some compressed air through all of my injectors, and one of them just went straight through. The air just went right through the injector, and therefore, and that was the actual cylinder when I pulled the spark plugs, was filled with gas. Two pluses to the whole thing is when I pulled the fuel rail, the fuel that had pooled in cylinder 6 or in the intake in cylinder 6 was not leaking. So that means that at least the intake valve is not bent. So hopefully the exhaust valves are okay. It makes kind of sense that, you know, once it hydrolocked and then it cleared itself and then it hydrolocked again, it can only do that if the valves are sealed and closed. So anyway, so I've drained the oil out and the fuel that's actually leaked past the rings and into the oil pan. There was quite a bit of it. There was probably at least 2 liters of fuel in there. So I changing out all my spark plugs. I'm basically going to do an oil change. I'm going to put some Hot Shot FR3 in there. Willie B is my LS1 guy, and I want to thank him a ton for suggesting I use that to try to help not score the piston walls, or at least on cylinder 6 when I start it up again, hopefully. The other plus is the rotating assembly still rotates freely, so I don't think I have a bent rod. That's one of the other things that can happen in this case. So we've got a few days until the show. I'm spending this evening doing the service on the engine, replacing the injectors, and then we'll fire it up later. So let's go topside and check out what we're doing with the injectors. Okay guys, so I'm gonna kind of demonstrate what I found yesterday. I'm gonna take my bad injector, put a little WD-40 in it. You can already see that it just goes right straight through. And if I look at a good injector, you get nothing out of there. So that way I know that this is actually the problem and what the fix is. So let's go take a look at the top side of the engine. Sometimes the gas shocks don't really do their job. I'm going to have to, I think, move them up a little bit, try to make them work a little bit better. Alright, so I took the fuel rail out here, as you can see. And so this side I'm ready to put new injectors in. And since I don't want to bore you with doing the other side, just like that. Those are pretty easy. Okay guys, so oil in. I turned the engine over probably 10 times by hand. I could feel something sticking, but after about the 5th time it freed up. So I'm hoping that when I go ahead and start it, it's going to fire up. I did have to change the injectors from low impedance to high impedance, so I did all that. But hey, wish me luck. Yay! All right, that's awesome, guys. Obviously, I got a few things to check out. I'm sure there's going to be some smoke in the engine bay for a little while, but